OK, let's go join Carol in Cornwall. Hello, Carol.
Hello, Nick. First of all, I'd like to say that I'm completely ashamed of my country. Ashamed of it. Why? Because of these terrible chants. Because of the behaviour of some of these people. I find it absolutely appalling. But you know, if you import third world people from the third world, you're going to import their animosities and their prejudices with them. They're not going to change. And I'm afraid that my country is on a downward path. And as for Suella Braverman using the word invasion, I think it's completely appropriate. I cannot think of another word that would, if you have thousands of healthy young men of fighting age from cultures that are alien to ours coming into your country uninvited, and you don't have the backbone to, one, stop them or immediately detain them and send them back, then I'm afraid, you know, what other word could you possibly use?
The danger in all of this, Carol, is that we are tarring everyone with the same brush. And I think, whilst I understand the frustration and the anger out there, I'd say two things. That there are welcome, safe and legal routes to this country from people in real distress, and we have those. Secondly, I would say, do you not hold whatever we welcome, we give, and 51% of the population give to Suella Braverman's choice of the word invasion. This is a problem of the government's making, isn't it?
Of course it is.
They've created the environment for, inverted commas, the invasion, haven't they?
Of course they have. Of course they have. And you see, another thing which goes back not just to this government, the previous governments. I don't know about you or any of your listeners, but I'm pretty sure no one asked me if I wanted immigration at the level we've had it. No one asked me.
Tony Blair was repeatedly... Carol, I'll just challenge that a bit, if I may. Tony Blair was elected repeatedly after he opened and came to the agreements with the EU that there would be no limit. That he had the right to put temporary limits in for 5 years on immigration. He never did, and he constantly got re-elected. Labour Party could argue they started it, but they did it with the electorate's blessing. Wouldn't you say, Matthew?
Yeah, I think, I mean, one of the mistakes that Labour made is when Jack Straw did a famous interview on Newsnight and was asked how many people would come from Eastern Europe just when those controls were being lifted. He said a few thousand, and then people were shocked when it became millions over the next few years. But, I mean, I think, look, I think it's absolutely clear that with the boats at the moment, the screening process for people who come from the boats is almost impossible task, and therefore we need to stop the boats. And I think that shouldn't be a left-right issue. That should be about securing our country issue.
Carol, listen. Yes, go on. Go, Carol. Yeah.
Yeah. Quickly, what Tony Blair did, he didn't do it in my name. I never voted for him. But the point is, he did it. But you know, he was talking about Europeans and what we're bringing into the country now is certainly a different kettle of fish.
Well, in truth, we're not bringing them into the country. They're coming to this country, and our system allows them to come into the country.
Right, but they're not Europeans, are they? They are from all over the world.
We have had a lot of people in, as I say, some legitimate routes, some an awful lot not. 109,000 since 2018 have come in through the small boats alone. David in London. David, hello.
Hello, Nick.
Hi. I mean, poor old Matthew here. He's invited to come in and talk, and so many people are ringing in. You're the priority, David. Absolutely. What would you like to say?
Yeah, it's basically, there's a couple of things. Number one is these protesters, you know, why don't they go out to Palestine? If they're so bad, go out to Palestine and fight the Palestinians.
And help. Just go out and help with aid.
You know, why come into London? I mean, if... you know, Tottenham...
And elsewhere. It's not just London, David, but I understand why you say London, being a Londoner, obviously.
Yeah, but if someone turns up at Tottenham in the next home game with a Jewish flag or a Palestinian, they will get nicked. There's no two ways about it. They will get nicked. They'll be taken straight and more likely banned for life. So the point of what I'm trying to say is, why should we have to put up with all this aggro when you can't go somewhere, you can't do this, you've got to go work, you've got to go here, and you've got thousands and thousands of people supporting the Palestine, basically condoning what the Palestinians done in Israel.
They would say they're not. Some probably wouldn't, actually, as we've seen from their chanting of jihadi shouts. But look, let me ask you a question, direct question. There were these reports, and they were verified, of people shouting jihadi chants. Let's be under no illusion what a jihadi chant is in this case. It is essentially calling for the death of Jews and more. Should they have been prosecuted? Because the police say there's no laws have been broken.
No laws have been broken. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, to me, they're condoning. Well, I'll ask you a question, Nick, and the other chap.
Yeah, Matthew.
If someone was to come into your house, rape your wife, behead your kids, burn your house down, and you knew who done it, what would you do?
Well, I'd probably behave like the Israeli Defence Force, and my gut instinct would be to seek revenge. It's not something I'm proud of saying, but that would be my gut instinct. The thing is, I would also say I would be sickened to see people who actively were supporting Hamas, which is not everyone on those marches, but clearly there are some. I would be actively sickened by it. And I think that's your point, isn't it, David?
It is, yeah. As I say, I've got 3 children. One of them works in London, one lives in London, I live in London, the other one she works in Gravesend. And you do worry. So I'm not worried about myself. If someone tries to attack me, I'll try to defend myself. But I'm worrying more about my children.
And I think that I think a lot of people will feel about that. I also have 8 grandchildren. I really do worry about what sort of world we're bringing them up in. David, thank you for that call.